In June 2026, British number 1 Jack Draper dropped to world number 113 after withdrawing from Madrid, Rome, the French Open, and Queen's Club with an aggravated knee tendon, a different injury from the arm problem that had already cost him 8 months of 2025. To get him fit for Wimbledon, Draper turned to a 39-year-old interim coach for the grass swing, Andy Murray. Murray is pacing that coaching box with a cobalt-chrome metal cap fused directly onto his own right femur, fitted in a London hospital in January 2019 in a procedure no professional singles player had ever returned from at the elite level before him. Murray didn't just return. He played 1,001 more tour-level singles matches and won a title on that hip. The road to get there is one of the most insane comeback stories in modern sport, and it's the exact story Draper is now leaning on. Andy Murray was born in Glasgow in May 1987 and grew up in Dunblane, a small town in central Scotland. In March 1996, when Murray was 8 years old, a gunman entered Dunblane Primary School and killed 16 children and a teacher before turning the gun on himself. Murray was a pupil there at the time. He has said publicly that he could have been one of the children killed that day, and that the gunman, Thomas Hamilton, had previously run a boys' club Murray attended and had given his mother lifts in his car. Murray rarely discusses the specifics, but he's been direct about the fact that the experience shaped him. His mother, Judy Murray, was a tennis coach, and by age 15, Andy had relocated to Barcelona to train at the Sanchez Casal Academy, partly funded by his family selling their house. He turned professional in 2005. By 2008, just 3 years later, he was already in his first Grand Slam final at the US Open, losing to Roger Federer in straight sets. It was the first of what would become 4 consecutive runner-up finishes in major finals between 2008 and 2012, to Federer twice and Djokovic twice a run so frustrating that British media began openly questioning whether he had the mentality to win the big one. The breakthrough came in the summer of 2012, and it happened in the strangest possible order. In July, Murray lost the Wimbledon final to Federer in 4 sets, becoming the first British man to reach that final since 1938, and breaking down in tears on center court afterward, saying, "I'm getting closer." 4 weeks later, on the exact same court at the London Olympics, he beat Djokovic in the semifinal and then beat Federer in straight sets in the gold medal match, denying Federer what would have been a career Golden Slam. 3 weeks after that, in September 2012, Murray beat Djokovic in a 5-set, 4-hour, 54-minute US Open final, 7-6, 7-5, 2-6, 3-6, 6-2, becoming the first British man to win a Grand Slam singles title since Fred Perry in 1936, a 76-year wait. Then in 2013, he did something even bigger for British tennis. He beat Djokovic again, this time in the Wimbledon final, 6-4, 7-5, 6-4, ending a 77-year drought for a British men's singles champion at the All England Club. He'd go on to win Wimbledon a second time in 2016, beating Milos Raonic in straight sets, and to defend his Olympic gold at the Rio Games that same year, beating Juan Martín del Potro in a 4-hour final to become the only man in tennis history ever to win 2 Olympic singles gold medals. In November 2016, after winning 5 straight titles to close the season, including the ATP finals over Djokovic, Murray became world number 1 for the first time in his career, at 41 weeks total, finishing as year-end number 1. Within months of reaching number 1, Murray's hip started failing. He played the 2017 Wimbledon quarterfinals pretty much on one leg, in his own words, and lost. He underwent his first hip surgery in January 2018, returned that June, but the pain never actually went away. It just got managed. By January 2019, it had gotten bad enough that he called a press conference before the Australian Open, and visibly emotional, told the room he might be done. He said the pain was constant, daily, that it affected basic things like putting his own socks and shoes on, and that he wasn't sure he could play through the pain for another 4 or 5 months. He named Wimbledon 2019 as a possible final tournament. That night, ranked outside the top 200 in form, if not on paper, he played Roberto Bautista Agut in the first round and lost in 5 sets over almost 4 hours, fighting back from 2 sets down to force a decisive decider in front of a crowd, giving him a standing ovation as he served at 1-5 down in the 5th. Murray himself said afterward, "If today was my last match, I'd be okay with that being my last match." He didn't retire that night. 9 months later, he was lifting a trophy again. Instead of retiring, Murray spent the following weeks talking to Bob Bryan, the doubles legend who had undergone a hip resurfacing procedure 5 months earlier and become the first professional tennis player to return to the tour after it. On January 28, 2019, Murray underwent that same operation in a London hospital. Not a full hip replacement, but a Birmingham Hip Resurfacing, a cobalt-chrome metal cap fitted over his existing femoral head, paired with a metal cup in the socket, preserving more of his own bone than a full replacement would. He posted the x-ray of the implant on Instagram the next day. No singles player had ever returned to elite-level tour tennis after this exact procedure. Murray's own surgical team and outside specialists were candid that this was uncharted territory for the sport. He didn't rush it. His first competitive return was doubles at Queen's Club in June 2019, just 5 months after surgery, and he won the title there with Feliciano Lopez, joking afterward, "I just won the doubles here with Feli with a metal hip. It's mental, really." His singles return came that August in Cincinnati, where he lost both his first matches without taking a set. He skipped the US Open entirely. By October 2019, ranked number 243 in the world, Murray entered the European Open in Antwerp, Belgium. He hadn't reached a tour-level final in over 2 years. In the final, he faced fellow 3-time Grand Slam champion Stan Wawrinka, also mid-comeback from a knee injury. Wawrinka took the first set 6-3 and led 3-1 in the second. Murray clawed back to win 3-6, 6-4, 6-4. His 46th career title, his first since Dubai in March 2017, won on a hip that 8 months earlier, doctors weren't certain could support elite singles tennis at all. "This is one of my biggest wins after everything," Murray said courtside, visibly emotional again. The ATP later named him their 2019 Comeback Player of the Year, but the comeback didn't turn into a second prime. Over the next several years, Murray never again reached a Grand Slam 4th round. He battled a pelvic injury, a groin injury. In 2023, at the Australian Open, he played a 5-hour, 45-minute match against Thanasi Kokkinakis, the longest of his career, and lost. That same year, on the Challenger Tour, the level below the main ATP circuit, he won the Aix-en-Provence title, his first trophy of any kind since that night in Antwerp 4 years earlier. In his 5th and final Olympics, playing only doubles with Dan Evans, the pair reached the quarterfinals, saving 5 match points along the way, before losing to Americans Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul in straight sets. Murray walked off having played 1,001 tour-level singles matches across his career, finishing 739 to 262. 5 months after retiring, Murray took on a new role. In late 2024, in one of the more surreal pairings tennis has produced, he became Novak Djokovic's coach, the man he'd lost 11 of 19 career finals to, now in his corner. The partnership lasted under 6 months and produced no titles, though Djokovic did beat Carlos Alcaraz at the 2025 Australian Open during their run together before Djokovic was forced out injured in the semifinals. Murray later said he was disappointed it didn't last longer. In May 2026, Jack Draper, who has openly called Murray his idol growing up and is, like Murray was, a lefty all-court grinder, announced he would no longer work with coach Jamie Delgado and brought Murray in to guide him through the grass swing instead. The plan, Eastbourne, then Queen's Club, where Murray won the title 5 separate times during his playing career and where Centre Court now carries his name, and then Wimbledon itself, where Draper is projected to enter as British number 1 despite a ranking outside the top 100. The man giving Draper instructions between points this fortnight once stood on that same Centre Court in tears after losing the 2012 Wimbledon final. He has a metal joint in his hip that medical specialists said would end his singles career. He played 1,001 tour-level matches anyway, won a title on it, and retired with a 739 to 262 record. Draper, at 24, is now trying to do a smaller version of the same thing, rebuild a ranking from outside the top 100 on a body that keeps breaking down in front of a home crowd that expects results. He picked the one coach in tennis who has already proven it's possible.